it can often be really hard to not take things too personally. It's something that it's an issue I've faced plenty of times before, and often I'm just left suffering in silence because I'm not thinking about things as rationally as I would like to. I think feeling your emotions in a situation where this might happen is something that's is necessarily and will likely come first, but it's what you do after that really counts and will hopefully help you from not having to suffer in silence. Now, there are two things that I've learned to try and not do when I feel like I'm getting into situations where I might take things too personally and over index on what was said or what was done or what happened, even though it's something I probably should just forget and move on. The first thing that I try to do when I'm in these situations is to validate whether if what was said or what was done was actually, well, valid. I think often there can be a lot of times that there can be a lot of things that can be said or done that aren't true, or they come from someone who don't necessarily have the expertise or opinions to be really giving that opinion. So my first thing to do is validating what was actually said or done. Who has said what? For example, let's just say someone said something. If they're the ones who said something, why is their opinion valid? Now, often people kind of go down the path and say that, oh, well, they're my close friend, like they know me the best, therefore their opinion is valid. But, and for some of the time, yeah, that might be very true. However, it's not uncommon to hear that people will give opinions on stuff that they might not have the greatest knowledge about. I'm sure they have the best intentions, but it is not often always the wisest decision to completely trust what they say without taking it with a grain of salt. And this is not to say that we shouldn't trust our friends. I think a lot of friendship is very much heavily built on things like trust. However, what I am saying is that if there are things that you feel will get you to spiral or overthink about, try your best to first validate whether what was said or what was done was even something that is true. The second thing that I always try to do, if the scenario requires it, is understand how and why I reacted the way I did, and whether if I react and feel like this and feel that way in other aspects of my life as well. Now, this second aspect helps me to better understand why I actually reacted so aversely to what was said or done. Often it can play upon some of my own insecurities, and although it isn't the most fun to think about those things sometimes, it really helps you challenge your own thinking and your values and your beliefs so you can be incredibly sure that those are the things you truly want to live your life by. All right, that's it for me. See you next time.